Here's a little double, which you'll see a few little squiggly things a bit later, but spoiler alert. The real star of the story is this ditch, for a number of reasons. I might as well tell you the story now. On the first lap I came around here and I didn't know how to approach this jump because it was all wet and slippery. The approach is very slippery. And I was like, oh, look at that guy go. And I didn't know quite what to do. So at the last minute I decided, well, if in doubt, gas it. And I gassed it at the last minute just as I hit the lip. And the bike did a massive whiskey throttle down towards where that orange thing is, throwing me off, and I saw just the ground. Fortunately, no injuries, but that was my introduction to the ditch of death, or whatever you want to call it. But let's move along. I decided the best approach for me was to just take it slowly and go through like this guy, showing the way, leading the way. You can't really see him because of my rentals, but you basically just go through slowly enduro style, and I tried that and it seemed to work most of the time for me. So here we go, brimming with confidence through the hole. Yes, you can do it.
You can do it! Get that old ass of yours in the end zone!
Because the bottom of the track was so wet and slimy, I decided I was going to do short laps, and I pretty much did shorter laps for the most of the day, because at the top it wasn't so bad because there weren't so many trees around. So this was the shorter of the laps that I was doing over here. Right, the ditch of death one more time. Let's see how we go. Oh my goodness, not too bad. Let's give that one a 9.5 out of 10. I decided after a while that this short path wasn't necessarily the best, because there's a big uphill double steeple jump to the right, and also a tabletop directly afterwards. So the bikes come across there pretty quickly. And later in the day there was the younger kids, one of the kids came across there and didn't see a bike and almost got T-boned. It was quite scary. Right, let's see how we take this double this time. Watch the front wheel. Oh, yeah, a little bit of a slip there, but not as bad as the one to come later. This was when I decided to go a little down the hill and across to the left below the ski jump. But this grass on the left here is very boggy and wet. So good few times it was a little bit sideways and funny through there as well. Honestly, today was more like a enduro day than a motocross day. It's hard to get across how slippery it actually is on the track. It might not look it, but it's all clay, and you can see over here it's just like slosh. I suppose now's a good time to confess that I wasn't jumping this ski jump or this tabletop today. I think it was just because it was so treacherous, and after my previous whiskey throttle attempt, I was not in the mood for any further major risks, so unfortunately a bit more toned down than usual. Right, we're coming up to one of the more sketchy moments on the double. Basically landed on the mud rut in the middle and went off to the right instead of the left, which was a little scary. Right, back to the ditch of death. Let's take a look at what happens this time. Totally professional dismount right there. It was just a little bit difficult to get straight through here. Another attempt at the ditch of death. Let's see how we go. Well, it looks like we got through mostly okay. Notice how slippery it is off on the side here. We just sort of go all squirrely. I was a little bit disappointed, actually, to be honest, about the fact that I wasn't even jumping that little ditch on this track. I was overly cautious. I should have just dealt with it. Another professional moment. neutral all the way. Let's see what the double brings us this time. Ah, air wheelie. It's not just Ronnie Mac that can do them. Great singing. So last time it was air wheelies. This time it's Indonesia. Another right angle moment coming up. Right, let's rate this one. A little sideways. Let's give that one a 5 out of 10. By this point in the day, the ditch was actually getting a bit deeper and actually harder to navigate. I should have honestly just been jumping it by this point. The plot thickens.
That's how you do it, mate. Nice and slow. Nice and slow.
Oh, now I'm getting my kids to jump it.
Yeah, good, good.
You heard the man, he says he's getting his kids to jump it. Do you know how that makes me feel? What's this? Another plot twist. His daughter tried to jump this apparently and decided halfway through to shut off and went over the handlebars. She wasn't too happy after this, but she wasn't too badly hurt, thank goodness. This was when my day went a little bit sideways. I was hoping to go on the full track at this point, but my kickstart lever had kind of seized up a bit. I didn't put grease in when I installed it, which I probably should have done. So another little repair that I need to do. Ah, the ditch of death. Now I've got 2 spectators. I was glad to see that I was not the only one rolling this triple over here.
Take it slow.
What is this? Another competitor? I don't think I'll be racing him today, or her. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Sorry, there's not too much sending it action, more just sort of fun and games, but hope you enjoyed it anyway, and hopefully I'll be out there soon for another round of fun.
Flashback.
I went out and it was somewhat muddy, particularly in the lower part of the track, which is not this top part that you're looking at the moment, and it was somewhat eventful to say the least. On the first lap, I went around and I discovered that most of the track is made up of wet, squishy clay, which is very slippery. When you go up the face of a jump too slowly, you lose traction and you're basically your back wheel goes sideways and you end up going off the track at 90 degrees from the way that you're supposed to be going. So after sort of going off the track a couple of times, I ended up on one of the straights, relative straights areas, and it was particularly bad, and I went off the track to the right, and I ended up planting my lovely KX250 into a nice big hole on the side of the track. So sort of face nose down into a huge thing, and I was obviously pretty tired by that point. So waited a moment, caught my breath, pulled the bike out of the hole, stood it up, and caught my breath again. Kicked it a few times and I discovered that it was flooded, so kicked it, had a break, kicked it a few more times, had a break, and eventually after quite a while spotted back into life, but not after getting a visit from someone who was concerned that I might have died down the hole, down the back of the track somewhere, which I almost did with kicking the thing.